Guys, thank you so much for joining. My name is Jack Cassio, and we're going to get started with the presentation here in just a minute or two. I want to make sure everyone fills in and gets here. So before that, I want to cover a couple of things as people start piling in to the free presentation. Now, if you're a high school student and you're looking to get recruited with a full scholarship, or if you're a parent of a kid who wants a scholarship, what I'm about to show you could literally be worth tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like, it's helped so many others before. A lot of people have used these exact processes that I've taught, and they've earned scholarships. So even if your kid's under 10 years old, I'm telling you, if they're 8, 9, 10 years old, it is not too early to start planning for this. College is super expensive, as we all know, but there are ways to get around that if you know the proper strategies at an early age. So as we're waiting for everyone to get settled in, just a couple reminders. First, what I'm going to share with you here is very, very important. So I'm going to ask you to shut down anything that might distract you from the information you're about to hear. If you can, shut off your phone or put it on Do Not Disturb. Maybe even close the door to the room that you're in so you're not bothered. What I'm going to show you here could change your child's life forever. I want to make sure you don't miss this while you're checking Facebook or a text message or, getting a phone call or whatever. So one thing I should mention, throughout this presentation, I'm going to speak to you like you're a parent. That's because it's normally the parents that attend my presentations. After all, it's the parents who want to learn how to save money and how to get their kid a free ride. Most kids, on the other hand, are usually too busy being kids, or they don't really care as much about saving money on college. And I know a lot of them are going to be taking out student loans, so they should take this very, very seriously. But I'm going to assume that you're a parent for this presentation. But if you are an exception to that rule, and you're an ambitious kid, this is probably something that I would have done as a kid, but if you're an ambitious kid, you'll get a ton of value from watching this presentation as well. Here's the thing. You'll want your parents to watch too, though. But I'm assuming they're not in the same room as you, so here's what we'll do. I'll send an email out after the presentation. Just reply to it and ask for my special replay link, and then you can send it to your parents, and that way they can watch the same information that you just watched. And another quick thing. The strategies I give you in this presentation really work. If you do what I say, there's a good chance your kid will get a full scholarship or at least a very healthy one. If you stay until the end, I'll show you a way that you can earn a $354 gift absolutely free. But again, that's at the end of the presentation, so be sure that you're here at the end because you're not going to want to miss that. Right now, you're going to learn my 3 scholarship secrets to getting your child a full ride at the school of their dreams. Now, as I said earlier, your kid doesn't have to be a top athlete. In fact, if you follow the 3 scholarship secrets I'm about to share with you, it really doesn't matter if your child is athletic at all. I mean, they should probably be somewhat sporty, but not everyone has to play football or basketball in order to get a full ride. In fact, those are the sports that are a lot more competitive, and it makes it a lot harder to get any sort of scholarship at all because they are so competitive and so many kids play it. Either way, whether your child is super athletic or not, you can use what you learn in this presentation to land your child some scholarship money, maybe even enough to cover their tuition, books, and room and board. For that reason, I'm going to ask you to pay close attention to what I'm about to share with you. No distractions. You have to watch this and take detailed notes. Okay, one more thing I want to do really quickly is discuss the online seminar technology that we're using here. The software has you automatically muted, so do not worry if you have a dog barking in the background or whatever. I won't be able to hear them. No one in this room will be able to hear them. Now, you might be wondering how you can ask questions if you're muted. You'll see in your control panel a Q&A section. If you have a question as we go through the presentation, please drop it in the Q&A section, and I will try to answer all the questions at the end. Lastly, I just want to make sure you can that you can hear me okay. So can you please type yes into the Q&A box now so I can see if you guys can hear me. Okay, cool. I'm already starting to see some yeses. I'll let a couple more come in. Beautiful. All right, they're flying in. That's good. And now, can you guys do the same thing to make sure that you can see my screen? I want to make sure that you're seeing these slides and the presentation I put together. Cool. You see my screen. I see your screen. I see your screen. Cool. All right. Perfect. So let me quickly tell you who I am and why you might want to listen to me. As I said earlier, I'm Jack Cassio. I'm the founder and CEO of Twice the Speed, an online academy that helps athletes reach their full potential. I personally train more than 3,000 athletes live. all over the United States, and I've helped more than 30,000 athletes through my online Twice Speed Academy. And these are athletes in over 60 countries. And I've also had over 30 million people watch my training videos on YouTube, and that number is growing constantly. It might even be close to 50 million by now. So you might have even seen some of my viral videos on ESPN. Back in the day, I filmed a video jumping on top of SUVs and doing crazy dunks as a 5-time white boy, and I got a lot of notoriety on ESPN, and that's kind of what launched me into this career of doing all this. So I've trained kids who've come from nothing. I've literally, kids from inner city Chicago, south side Chicago, and then I've also trained people who've come from a lot. The Congressman Joe Walsh's son, Patrick, was one of my first clients as well. So one of the U.S. congressmen. But I'm not here to talk about my Twice Speed Training Academy today. And I'm not here to talk about my accomplishments. You see, I love helping every single athlete get faster, get stronger, become more confident, become a better athlete. But my biggest passion is helping kids get to the college of their dreams, even if they think they can't afford it. And especially I like helping kids who probably wouldn't have been able to go without me. You see, sometimes the world is a pretty rotten place for some people, and to be able to help regular, everyday parents give their kids a life most only dream of is so precious to me. I really appreciate doing that. I love it. It makes me feel very fulfilled. That's why I'm putting together this presentation today. I want to be able to help as many families as possible, and passing along what I know in this format lets me reach thousands of kids and parents at a time. Of course, I didn't always know the 3 scholarship secrets that I'm about to share with you. I learned them the hard way. It all started with a great kid that you may or may not have heard of. His name is Chris James. I call him CJ. CJ comes from a pretty rough part of Chicago, and when CJ and I met, not a single student from his school had ever been recruited. So when he came to me, there was no scholarships coming from his high school. CJ was a genuine star in the making, but he knew the cards were stacked against him. How could he hope to get picked up at a school if the recruiters never went there? His family certainly could not afford $500 for each showcase that he needed to attend, not to mention all the travel expenses, the gas, the hotels, the food on the road trips to get to all these schools and these camps. Then there's those highlight videos, those under a minute videos athletes can send to college coaches in hopes they'll get discovered. Those would have run CJ about $1,000 a pop with no guarantee they'd even be watched. After all, no coach is going to see the video if you have no way of getting it to them. You see, most college coaches are secretive. They never put their email addresses online. And any email address you can find easily is usually monitored by a receptionist who couldn't care less about your kid. And that's the God's honest truth. I've went through it personally. We'll talk more about how you can reach these coaches in just a moment and what to say when you do reach out to them. But back to CJ. CJ had no family friend to put in a good word for him with any coaches. He didn't have any favors to call in, and he certainly didn't have $5,000 or more to invest in some recruiting service, money that you have to pay upfront too, even though these services provide zero guarantees. They don't provide any sort of guarantee. The thing is, CJ is a genuine star, and I knew I couldn't let his talent go to waste. Like so many other kids from his school, their talent was wasted because they didn't know how to reach out and how to adapt to these processes. So in case you're wondering, I haven't forgotten my promise to teach you the 3 scholarship secrets, and I haven't forgotten that I said you don't have to be a star like CJ to get a full ride. That's true, but CJ's story is important since it's how I learned all of this stuff. Anyways, I worked with CJ for 4 years. At first, I taught him my fast twitch muscle techniques. Like a lot of athletes, CJ wanted to become fast, he wanted to become explosive, quicker, more agile, but he wasn't training in a fast and explosive manner. We fixed that right away. And CJ got more and more powerful. He grew concerned. As he got more and more powerful, he grew concerned. In fact, CJ is a great kid, but it was a constant chore to keep his head in the game. One day he said to me, "Jack, what's the point of all this if I can't get in front of coaches? What's the good of training to be the best if nobody will ever hear me or see me?" I'm a pretty athletic guy myself, but CJ's comments broke my heart because he was right. He really was. CJ's family tried so hard for him, they loved him, and they wanted the best for him. They dreamed he'd do something with his life, that he'd break out of the bad neighborhood he grew up in and reach his full potential. But CJ's grandmother just didn't understand the truth. That talent alone doesn't cut it. That's not how it works. There's a lot of talented athletes who don't ever make it. Now, there are plenty of talented athletes at his school. and not one of them was ever recruited. No scholarships. Recruiters didn't bother going there, so there was an absolute zero chance that CJ would get picked up unless there was some outside support, unless he knew what he was doing to get his name out there. That's why I couldn't let CJ down. At the time, though, I wasn't an insider like I am now, but I did have some things going for me that CJ didn't. Besides being a little bit older and a little bit more experienced, I had gone to the University of Iowa, a major Big Ten school, and I knew how to get in front of coaches and recruiters, at least how to do so in person. I just needed to figure out how I can do that for CJ, but from a distance. What I learned over those 4 years of working with CJ are the 3 scholarship secrets I'm about to share with you right now. These 3 scholarship secrets helped CJ get full ride scholarships, fully paid, to 21 Division I schools. And I'm proud to say he was recruited as a running back to the University of Pittsburgh, and now he plays at Wisconsin. His coaches went over to Wisconsin from Pitt. He followed his coaches. Now he plays running back at the University of Wisconsin. The time I spent with CJ was really learning time for me too. So I'm so glad that I was able to help him get recruited with a full ride. But to be honest, a lot of what we did probably wasn't necessary. After working with CJ, I took stock of everything we did together. I took notes. I took detailed journal notes of everything that we did, what we talked about, some of the processes we used. So I had this notebook with all this information, and I distilled it down to the 3 scholarship secrets that I've been telling you about. Those 3 things were responsible for about 95% of CJ's success at getting picked up with a full ride. Since then, I've gone on to use these 3 scholarship secrets to great success with a number of students. Take Jack C., for example. Here's what he had to say about my coaching. I worked with Jack for a few years in high school. I originally started working with him to run faster, and I did. His training turned me into a prospect with elite speed and explosiveness. He's a baseball player, by the way. He turned my 60-yard dash from a 7.1 to a 6.45. His training helped open doors into my recruiting process and attracted many college and professional organizations. As we got to know each other and I got to know CJ, Jack really helped me understand how the recruiting process worked. I eventually earned multiple scholarship offers and decided to play baseball at Illinois State for 4 years. I've since pursued a similar career in the training world like Jack. Jack's passion and love for the field of training was contagious and inspiring to follow a similar path in life. That's Jack Krzyzewski. He was one of my favorite athletes I've ever worked with, and that's what he had to say. Or take Tristan Humbles, who had to say this. I started working with Jack Cassio as a senior in high school, which many would say is too late to get a scholarship. But with the combination of dropping my 40 time from a 4.9 to a 4.5, adding some muscle, and Jack using his network and knowledge to reach out to coaches, I received a scholarship to play Division I football at the last minute. To be honest, I wasn't even expecting it to happen, but when I received that phone call with my scholarship, it was the best day of my life. I owe a lot to Jack Cassio and Twice Speed. Thank you, Tristan Humbles. Now that I've gotten college recruiting and scholarships nailed down to a science, I'm going to share with you those 3 secrets. So it might be a good time to pull out a pen and paper if you haven't already. This is extremely important. I want you to write these down because I want you to be able to start implementing these things with your kids right now. And remember, like I said, it doesn't matter what age. It's never too early to start. There's already kids getting scholarships who are 9, 10, 11, 12 years old. They're already getting scholarships. So please pull out a pen and paper now. Recruiting secret number 1. Pick the right school and sport for your goals or your child's goals. You know, it might be better if your son or daughter doesn't play baseball, basketball, or football. Why? Because those sports are the most competitive. Everybody wants to play them and get the glory. Of course, I'm not saying that your kid shouldn't play one of those sports. If they have the natural ability, it only makes sense. But if neither you or your child feels like it's a good idea to put in the work to be a star in any of these sports, or if you're more concerned about just getting a full ride or getting into a good school and you couldn't care less about which sport your child plays, or they don't care what sport they play, then stay away from the big 3 sports or play them as more of a supplemental sport. Meaning, if you like baseball, if your child likes baseball, don't make them quit the sport, obviously, but just have another sport to focus on. I'm going to explain that now. So what sport should your kid focus on? A sport like rowing. That's right, rowing. Why rowing? Because schools like the U.S. Coast Guard Academy in Connecticut give rowers full rides. And it's much easier to get college money as a rower than it is a baseball player. For example, there are 20 women's rowing scholarships to just 11.7 men's baseball scholarships. The average scholarship for a female rower at St. Mary's College in California is $19,813. The tuition cost, if you're from out of state, is $44,360. So the scholarship covers a little less than half the tuition. No, that's not a full ride, but the acceptance rate is 98%. Generally, if your kid has a heartbeat and at least a little athletic, they can get the scholarship. They can earn that scholarship. Your daughter can obtain that. Then there's Washington State University with an 80% acceptance rate. It's a little tougher to get in to St. Mary's College, but it's still pretty easy. And your daughter's scholarship there will cover 76% of tuition. That's a pretty good combination. Of course, I'm not telling you that your kid should try to get recruited as a rower, and I'm not saying that they shouldn't push for the sports they love, like baseball, basketball, and football. If that's truly what they love and desire, obviously continue those sports. But what I'm saying is that it's smart to pick a winning strategy now before you get too far down the road. If you know what you're aiming for, it's a lot easier to hit your target. And even if your son or daughter knows without a doubt which sport they want to play, do you know which school they have the best chance of getting a full ride in? It's kind of important, right? So picking the right strategy involves settling on a handful of the right sports and the right schools. And speaking of the right schools, they're not always the ones that pop into your mind first. For every USC and Alabama and Florida State and University of Wisconsin, all these major schools, there's a University of Niagara. So a buddy of mine in high school, his name is Matt, he was probably one of the best baseball players I've ever played with or against. We didn't know in high school that there were all these smaller schools that are still D1 that have money. So in high school, he ended up choosing to go play at a junior college to kind of figure all this out, which later he found out the University of Niagara, and they ended up paying for the rest of his school. So he played 2 years at a JUCO and then went on and got his college paid for. Now, had we known this in high school, Matt was like a lot better than the University of Niagara talent. In high school, he could have gotten that scholarship right out of the gate, but we just didn't know. There are so many schools out there that you just don't know about who have the same budget. They have the same amount of money. If you're talking Alabama football, there's Alabama football. They have 80 scholarships on their team, but so does Appalachian State and so does all these small little schools that you've never heard of. Southwest Missouri State. Like a lot of these schools, they have the money, but parents and athletes, when they're little and when they're growing up, you don't know about all these schools across the country. Every college, every D1 school has the same amount of scholarships to give out, but everyone's fighting for that USC and that Bama and that Florida State when there's coaches begging across the country to give out money. But people are too focused in on these big name schools. And as you see, if you watch any NFL or any sports, a lot of athletes come from these smaller schools. You're like, where is that? But I'm going to get to more of that here in a second. So here's the point. You don't know what you don't know. You need accurate information to make those decisions. So if you don't know all these schools out there, there's thousands of schools. If you don't know them, you're never going to find them, you know? So I kind of want to beat that into your head so you understand, like, there's a lot of potential out there. Now, you might be wondering how you can find out this kind of information. How do you find these schools? How do you find these coaches? The answer is you dig online for it. But it's not that easy. I know because between my assistant, Adam, and I, we spent hundreds, if not thousands of hours finding the right websites that house this kind of information. And we spent more time than that figuring out how to decipher the data to find the hidden gems. But it was worth it. By sifting through all the right data, you can find the right school and sport combination that will make your kid a virtual shoo-in for a scholarship. Now that we know what to do, it's pretty fast and easy for us to do it. But it's still pretty daunting for some of my students and their parents. That's why I developed my full ride video training series to show them how to find the data they need to zero in on the ideal sport and school mixture, the combination for their kids' goals. Once they watch my training video and do what I show them, what used to take tens or hundreds of hours now only takes them 3 or 4. And that can be broken up into 15-minute increments. It's not 3 or 4 straight hours. And I've streamlined it so much, it's actually fun to do. That video training is included in my full ride finder package that I'll be telling you about in just a minute here, but just hang on, I have a little bit more to explain. But first I want to tell you about recruiting secret number 2. Get in front of the right coaches and stay there. Stay in front of these coaches. Let me ask you a question. If 2 athletes are competing for a full ride, and these 2 athletes are alike in every single way, except one athlete knows who the coach. He knows who the coach is. He personally knows that coach. Who's going to get the full ride? Most people would say it's the athlete that knows the coach, especially if the coach likes that athlete as a person too. It's just human nature, right? The kid that knows the coach gets the full ride. So what do you do if you don't know any of these coaches? I'll tell you what my students do. They get in front of the coach and then they stay there. How do you know what to do if you don't have the time or money to travel? You reach out to the coaches by email and by phone, but here's the problem. Like I said earlier, almost no coaches or recruiters put their real contact information online. You might think you found their phone number or email, but generally it doesn't work. It's not going to actually reach that coach. Or the emails or calls are screened by support staff who couldn't care less about if your message ever sees the light of day. The coaches never see it. To them, your message is just another item to clear out of their email box. Now, I'm not saying you can't find the contact information for coaches at the college your kid wants to attend. You can. But it could take you dozens of hours to do so, just like finding the school sport combination that we talked about earlier. Of course, you may never find the coach's contact information at all, or even find out what their name is, especially for some of these smaller sports. Getting all this information is critical though. After all, how can you stay in front of a coach if you can't even get in touch with them in the first place? But like my full ride video training series on how to find the right school and sport combination, there is an easier way. And you'll be glad to know that I was able to solve the problem of finding accurate contact information for these coaches. I solved it with my Full Ride Finder. The Full Ride Finder is a piece of customized software that Adam and I created. And it's awesome. The Full Ride Finder will spit out the real contact information of hundreds, if not thousands at this point, of coaches across the country. That's D1 level coaches, D2, D3, JUCO, NAIA, women's and men's sports, every coach. It spits out all the access to everybody. Let me tell you, it was not easy. It was not an easy chore to get this done. My assistant made hundreds of phone calls, spent hundreds of hours searching online, but it paid off. This software contains information you can use to get in front of just about any coach across the country, any college coach. And my assistant Adam keeps the Full Ride Finder data perfectly up to date. The Full Ride Finder is so cool. All you have to do is pick the school, pick the state, pick the sport, the division, D1, D2, and so on, the tuition range you're looking for, and then input things like your students' projected SAT scores or ACT scores and their projected GPA or class rank, and you just hit go. And the software will spit out the contact info of the right coaches. In fact, let me pull up the software for you right now and just show you a demo. Go right here. So as you see, you're going to pick your sport. This is what the back end software looks like. You pick your sport. So for me, I'm going to pick, let's just do baseball. That's what I played. Then we'll go Division 1. And then if you want to pick the region, so you can go West, Southwest, so on. So I'm from the Midwest, so I'll just do Midwest. If you want to narrow it down to state, you can. You don't have to. The only field you need is just the sport. You don't need to fill in all these fields. So then we'll go type of school. We'll go public. Enrollment, we'll do a big school. Tuition, so you can go below 10,000. So if you're trying to find a cheaper school, then you can go below 10, but for this example we'll go above 25k. ACT, and if your child is younger and they don't have their ACT or their SAT, just base it off their GPA. So if they're a straight A student, I would pick one of these two, the 26 to the above 30. If they're a B student, I'd pick one of these two, and then if they're a C student, I'd pick one of these two. So I'll just pick 26, 29. We'll go to this one, 1200 to 1290, and then GPA will go 3.4 to 3.6, class rank top 20%. You hit find your schools, and boom, here's the Division 1 coaches that fit all those parameters. So here we go. So we got Dan Hartlib, University of Illinois. So now if you want to go to the University of Illinois, so I'm from Chicago, Illinois, so let's click that one. You go to view info, and now here we go. We got his office phone number, so you can get right in touch with him. It's direct to him. There's no screening. There's no assistant. There's no one answering his phone. All right. Then if you want to email him, you just click his name, and then it's going to open up whatever email browser you use. So boom, and now you could just start typing your email. Boom. And that's it. So it gives you all the information. It also gives you access to their site. So if you just want to see what that school's all about, that's it. And then you can look up all the information related to the school, and that's all in one place right here. Okay? So it's pretty cool. It's pretty powerful software. And then you can go back and you can look and you can change sports. So if you have multiple kids, you can look up different sports, women's, men's. It shows every single coach. So you want to go to Central Michigan, click this, it shows all of his information, phone, sport, baseball, and so on. Okay? So it's a pretty powerful software. There is nothing else out there like this. It's very, very powerful. It's going to get you in touch with the right coaches. Okay, so let's go back to the presentation. Okay, now we're back at the presentation. So that's how the Full Ride Finder works. It's simple. It's very clean, very easy as you see. It's very easy to use, but it's powerful. It gives you every coach at your fingertips, and that's every sport. That's football. That's everything. So all the coaches you guys see on TV, you're going to have their contact information with this software. And it'll save you a ton of time. And it'll find you those gem schools that we've been talking about. All those smaller schools will now be at your fingertips. I spent countless hours looking up all these coaches back when I was helping CJ with all this. I would find them, and my solution was going and finding their name and then having to find them on Facebook. And then I would spam them on Facebook and ask them questions. You don't have to do that anymore. You can go direct to them. Because back when I was looking, I couldn't find their emails. But this gives you all their contact information at the palm of your hand. It's made the difference for dozens of my students, and if they can't afford expensive showcases, they don't have to go. You don't have to travel across the country to go to all these combines and all these showcases. Some of those showcases are a complete waste of time too. Although some are pretty good, there are some good camps, the one-day camps that you can go to, but a lot of them are just a waste of time and a waste of money. But even if you do choose to send your kid to some showcases, isn't it better that they show up already knowing the coach? If the coach has already talked to your kid or talked to you as a parent, it develops a rapport. So that's the secret in a nutshell. Getting in front of the right coach early on in the process raises your kids' chances above the competition. Whether or not you choose to send them to any showcases, but you have to get the proper contact information though. You have to. And you have to know exactly what to say to get their attention. Coaches are like the rest of us. Too many emails, too little time. So if you don't cut through the clutter, you won't make any progress. Which leads me to recruiting secret number 3. Know how to get good attention. My YouTube videos have been watched over 30 million times, so I know a thing or two about getting good attention. Now, not everybody does. They really don't. There's so many people out there who don't know how to properly market themselves. That's why when I first gave my students access to the Full Ride video training and the Full Ride Finder software, a lot of them were getting stuck. They sent emails and phone calls and never heard back. The emails probably were never even opened. But as a successful long-time business owner, I know what you say and how you say it can make all the difference in the world. Just like that salesman who knows how to grab the attention and overcome objections can write his own ticket. These types of salesmen write their own tickets because they know what to say, they know how to say it, and they know how to handle these objections. So can athletes though. Athletes can build deep relationships with a handful of coaches if they know what to say and how to say it. After picking a winning strategy and getting the contact info of the right coaches, knowing what to say, exactly what to say to them, is the missing piece of the puzzle, or was the missing piece for these athletes. You following? So I spent thousands of dollars having a copywriter friend of mine who wrote these emails, wrote these headlines in these emails that work. These emails grab the attention of the coach in a respectful way, of course. The emails hold attention, and they work to build a relationship, build that rapport between coaches and kids, or coaches and parents. You might think I'm a little crazy having spent that much money for an email and a telephone template, but those scripts are what's responsible for helping so many of my students build great relationships with the coaches at the programs they wanted to get into. I'd like to share with you those email templates as well. But first, let me summarize this for you. Everything I did for CJ on the business side that helped him get 21 full rides can be cut short into this 3-step process. Number 1, pick the right school and sport for your goals. Number 2, get in front of the right coaches and stay in front of them. And number 3, know how to get good attention. You could use this process on your own to get a hefty scholarship for your child or even a full ride. It'd probably take you hundreds of hours to pick the school and the sport combination that's going to earn your child the most money, and it would take a bunch more time to locate the real contact information of the coaches there. And through trial and error, you could probably figure out what to say to these coaches to gain their attention and build that respect and that relationship, but why not take advantage of all the hard work that I've already done? I already have the Full Ride video training to zero in on the best school and sport to meet your kids' goals, the best combination. And I already have the Full Ride Finder software that took us countless thousands of hours to find the real contact information of any coach in the United States. And I even have proven email and telephone scripts that tell you exactly what to say to them once you have their information through the Finder. So here's how the 3-step process looks for that. Number 1, Follow my quick full ride training video, my video training to locate the best combination of schools and sports that will maximize your child's chances to getting a full scholarship. Number 2, use my full ride finder to quickly get the contact information of those coaches at those schools. And number 3, use my email and telephone scripts to begin building that rapport and that relationship. That's really it. Getting your scholarship should not be more complicated. It shouldn't. And a lot of parents, a lot of coaches, a lot of high school coaches, they make it so much more than what it is. But if you do it right, it's really that simple. It's a smooth 3-step system to landing your child a big scholarship at their dream school and maybe even a full ride. And as you've seen, your child doesn't have to be a star athlete and earn big scholarships either at these major programs. Just use the simple 3-step process. It helps you sidestep the expensive meet and greets and skip the exorbitant fees charged by those recruiting service companies. Listen, if you want to hire one of those pricey companies, by all means, go ahead. They may work, they may not. I've never used them. But unless your child is one of the top athletes in the country, it's going to cost you a pile of money and a lot of heartache. And remember, there's no guarantee with any of those guys. They don't guarantee that they're going to place your child. That's why I recommend you take me up on my special offer, on this special offer instead. My special offer is to let you have access to the same 3 steps that have worked so well for so many of my students. You'll get everything you need to win big scholarship money inside my full ride finder package. So here's what you'll get. First, you get lifetime access to the full ride video training series. This video series takes you by the hand and shows you where to find the data and how to quickly sift through it. Follow what I show you, and you'll find a sweet spot school and sport that will give your son or daughter the edge in getting a full ride. The video training will save you dozens of hours of frustration, if not more. Second, you'll get lifetime access to the full ride finder software. Fire it up in just seconds. You'll be able to uncover the contact information for any of the coaches at the school and sport combinations you found in step 1. Even better, if you play around with the software a little, you'll pick up combinations that you didn't even see in step 1. And don't worry, I pay Adam very well to keep the contact information of those coaches inside the software accurate and up to date. You'll never get old information that doesn't work. Together, the software and video training are incredibly powerful, but they work even better with this. Third, you'll get lifetime access to the proven full ride email and telephone scripts. All you have to do is cut and paste these email scripts, customize them a little for your son or daughter and their sport and reaching out to the coach, send them to those coaches that you found in the full ride finder, and wait for the answer. In our experience, if you use our scripts, it won't take that long to hear back at all. They're usually pretty quick at responding once you grab their attention. And then you can use our follow-up email scripts to stay in touch and build real relationships with these coaches. If you ever wondered how you were going to help your child get to the school they love without taking on a pile of crippling debt, then this is your chance. Now, it wouldn't be fair for me to give away the video training, the software, and the scripts for free when my current students pay to use them. And just the cost alone to keep my full ride finder software running smoothly and to keep the data current is not cheap. So I do have to charge you a small fee for the service. But I think you'll be I think you'll be shocked actually and surprised at how little the investment is compared to the value that you can get back of potentially earning hundreds of thousands of dollars off of school. It's nowhere near what you'd pay for a recruiting service, and it's nowhere near what you'd pay traveling from showcase to showcase all across the country. If you're interested in taking advantage of all the legwork I've already done and giving your kids the help they need to reach their fullest potential, you'll be glad to know that you can access the Full Ride video training series, the Full Ride Finder software, and the Full Ride email and phone scripts that cost me a fortune for one single payment of $497. That's way cheaper than a recruiting service or trotting your kids around the country to hopefully see some coaches. Just one payment of $497 gives you access to the entire system. And you get lifetime access. So if you have more than one kid, they can use the system too. It's really a no-brainer. But as you'll see in a moment, I'm going to sweeten the deal for you and add in a couple of bonuses that are easily worth more than this small investment on their own. But if you're ready to get access right now, please head to fullridefinder.com and reserve your spot. Once you land on the page, you'll get to a safe, secure order form. Simply fill out the details and you'll get immediate access to the video training, the software, and the proven email scripts. Visit fullridefinder.com right now to secure your spot at the low price of $497. We'll be doubling that price soon, and so unless you want to wait and pay more later on, then just head over to fullridefinder.com now, because we are limiting this to a test group, and then we're going to max the price out later on once we have all the great feedback. So at the start of the presentation, I promised you that I would share with you how you can get a $354 gift absolutely free. So I'm going to share with you how that works right now. As I mentioned, my main business is my online coaching portal called the Twice the Speed Academy. It's designed to help athletes become stronger, faster, more explosive. And don't worry, as I said earlier, your child does not have to be an all-star, but it certainly does not help, or I'm sorry, it doesn't hurt their chances when they're faster, they're stronger, they're more athletic. It's going to make them more appealing to the coaches when they do eventually meet that coach or have to play in front of that coach. So that's what the Twice Speed Academy does. It's a self-guided training program, and it uses the same training routines that helped CJ get 21 full ride offers. But it's not just CJ either. Quentin Chivas, basketball player at the University of Tennessee, had this to say: I did Jack's workouts in high school and increased my vertical jump, my quickness, and overall athleticism. I earned a scholarship to the University of Tennessee. I love the workouts and would highly recommend you try them out for yourself. Tyler Ladendorf, who's the second baseman for the Oakland A's, said this: Twice Speed has some of the most unique exercises I have ever done in my career. Having played professional baseball for the last 6 years, I knew I needed to be quicker, more explosive, and more powerful, and that's why I turned to TTS. Regardless of sport and age, I would highly recommend their workouts. Twice Speed Academy is the real deal, and it's a great alternative for many of my students who can't afford to work with me one-on-one. And I charge a lot of money, and I travel the country and run some like camps like that and work with a lot of professional athletes. But right now, I'm just going to give away that software for free. Of course, it's not just athletic ability either. It's what comes with the increased athleticism of these workouts. Former U.S. Congressman Joe Walsh, this is what he had to say, and I quote: "My online training exercises gave his son Patrick more agility, confidence, and swagger. His son walked around with a different swagger and confidence because now he felt more explosive, he was playing better, and he felt more confident on the field." And that translates a lot in life. That translates pretty far when your child becomes more confident. So my Twice Speed Academy is the perfect addition to the Full Ride video training, the Full Ride Finder software, and the email and telephone scripts. But I'm going to show you a quick demo of how this customization software works, and so you get a better idea. So I'm going to exit out here. So here is the Twice Speed Academy. Let me just blow this up for you. Here's the Twice Speed Academy. As you see, my beautiful face, my bella faccia. So here's what the inside of the application works. So it's a web application. It's mobile friendly, and it'll look like this on your phone. It's super clean, super easy. It does everything. It's basically like you were training with me. It's a customized tool that changes as your son or daughter changes. So just like if you were working with me live, this is the exact same thing. So if your son is a shortstop and they're 11 years old, it's going to train that athlete different. It's going to train your son different than if your daughter is a lacrosse player and she's 14. They're going to have completely different workouts because of our customization algorithm that we built out. So I'll show you a quick video on this.
Twice the Speed is a workout customization tool that changes as you do. Our proprietary algorithm works 24/7 to ensure your workouts are tailored exactly to meet your specific needs. Once you complete our 3-step checkout process, you simply answer a few questions, compete in the TTS Combine, adjust your player profile to fit your goals, and your workout will be automatically generated within seconds. Throughout your TTS experience, we'll be tracking your progress. The best way to know if you're getting better is to track and measure every step of the way. Throw out your old notebooks and let us do all the tracking for you on the exercises that actually count. Workouts consist of 5 phases: dynamic warm-up, activation, plyometrics, the weight room, and your cool down. Don't worry if you don't have a weight room or if you're in season. Just tell us by clicking these buttons, and your workouts will instantly customize to meet your needs and resources. Join the thousands of athletes who have trusted Twice the Speed over the last 6 years and become the next member today.
So there you go. That is, I mean, exit out of this. Perfect. So that is the software in a nutshell. And as you see, it's very clean, very easy to use. It's 5 steps. It's your warm up or your activation, your warm up, your plyometrics, your strength training, and then your cool down. And we walk you through all that. And there's videos of each step. There's a little community in here where you can chat with all the other athletes and so on. So it's pretty cool. It's been around for a while now, and we charge. So if you see, we do charge $59.95 a month for that, and it's $574 for the year. So we're actually just throwing that in for you right now, which is pretty cool. So as you guys see, you saw the demo. You see the Twice Speed Academy is perfect. It's a perfect companion to the Full Ride Finder package because now you're going to be able to reach out to these coaches, but your kid and is going to have the confidence and have the proper workouts to become fast, to become strong, to become explosive. They're going to be the player that these coaches want, that they look for, which is a beautiful thing. If you can take your son or daughter's 40 time, from a 4.9 to a 4, I guess it would be your son, 4.9 to a 4.5. If you could shave off some time like that, your kid is now a prospect. Speed kills. Coaches love speed. So these workouts are geared to make them jump higher, make them faster, make them stronger. It's upper and lower body workouts that are dedicated to customize as they grow. You don't need a weight room. You don't need any fancy equipment. All you got to do is tell the software what you're working with, and then it'll spit out the workouts. So it's a pretty sick bonus that I'm just throwing in there. So the best thing is about this is it's yours. It's yours for free. So you get to do this for 6 months, no questions asked. That's $60 a month. That it's yours. Give it to your kid. Have them crush it, and watch how confident they become on the field. So my Twice Speed Academy sells for $59, as I explained, day in and day out. But when you invest in the Full Ride Finder package today, the 6 months are yours. They're absolutely yours. No questions asked, no hassle. I'm going to give you the login immediately upon your purchase. That's a gift of $354. So in a way, your access to the Full Ride Finder package today is only $143. Your investment of $497 minus what you would have paid for the 6 months of my Twice Speed Training Academy. And as you know, trainers are so expensive. If you're going to go to a trainer for even $50 a workout, which is on the low end, they're probably closer to $75 to $100. That's if you're going 4 times a week, that's $200 a week times 4. That's $800. That's like a mortgage to have to get this level of training. But typically I charge $60, which is a great deal, but it's yours absolutely free for 6 months so you guys can test it out and watch how drastically your child changes athletically and as a person. In fact, I'm going to do something even better than that. Now, I know many of the parents who are watching this presentation have more than one child, and because of that, as a free bonus, I'm going to give you 2 accounts of the Twice Speed Academy because I want to make it fair. I had a sister growing up. Now, if my sister got this and I didn't, I would have been pissed. So that way, if you do have 2 kids, both are covered in your single investment of the $497. I'll send you 2 different links. It'll be 2 different style workouts. It'll customize directly to whichever child has their login. They'll have their own profile. They'll be able to create their own player and so on. So that should be a relief when you consider the alternative of spending thousands of dollars on recruiting services and trainers for 2 kids. It would be astronomical to do. Heck, even if you have 3 or 4 kids, just let me know. And so after this, you can hit me up and I'll hook them up. I'll give them 6 months free too. My real goal is to help every athlete in the world. I want every athlete to have an equal opportunity to be great because I didn't grow up with a ton of money, so I would have jumped all over something like this as a kid, and my parents would have. So I want to make sure if you do have 3, 4, 5, 6 kids that I'm going to take care of you once you're a part of the Twice Speed family. But if the free access to the Academy is something you're super excited about, you need to take action now. I'm only offering this free bonus for the first 100 people who do this. So if you want access to the Academy and these customized workouts for your kids, then you have to go over to fullridefinder.com and claim your spot immediately because it's going to go quick. And so if you want to lock it in, just head over there right now. Just stop watching this, head over there, be one of the first 100. As you know, there's a lot of people watching this live call, so I want to make sure that you have an opportunity to get it. It is going to be a first come, first serve thing. But I also want you to know that when you invest in my Full Ride Finder package, you have no risk. When you sign up, you'll get instant access to the video training, the software, and the scripts. You'll also get access to the Twice Speed Academy for your kids. And when you get inside, you'll see there's a ton of support there to help you and your child get that full ride. And out of respect for your time, I haven't been able to tell you nearly everything that you'll find in there, but I want you to know that you do have 60 days to explore everything and still get your money back if you're not happy. So for any reason, if you're not happy at the end of the 60 days, it didn't help your kid get more athletic, get more confident, become faster, become stronger, become that athlete that you know they can be. And if they didn't have the access, or if they didn't reach out to the coaches, or they didn't feel like that you got enough back from the coaches or whatever, just let me know. And we'd be happy to refund you. We're that confident with our product that it's going to change your child's path as an athlete or as a student athlete. So that's right. If any time over the next 60 days you feel like my Full Ride Finder package and my Twice Speed Training Academy do not live up to my claims, you'll simply let me know and I'll give you 100% of your money back, no questions asked. In other words, you have nothing to lose and your child has everything to gain. So head over to fullridefinder.com right now and lock in your spot. I've also got a few more free bonuses that I wanted to tell you about. I know I'm just making this thing unbelievable for you. First, let me tell you about my Ivy League report. Now, my intern Adam that I mentioned earlier, he's a genius, an absolute genius at finding college tuition hacks. In fact, he's so good he found hacks that led to over $250 in college savings for him. And he did this by finding some secret websites that sent his application to all the Ivy League schools at once. The result, Adam got into a great Ivy League school. He goes to University of Pennsylvania, or he went to University of Pennsylvania. And thanks to these websites, he got his education paid for, or basically paid for. I think he paid, I don't know, in between $2,000 and $5,000 a year compared to the $75,000 a year that school costs, which is pretty cool. So if you feel like your son or daughter could be Ivy League material, this special bonus report could be worth 100 times your investment today, if not more. And inside the report, Adam details his exact strategy for landing scholarships at Ivy League schools. You'll get the websites he used and all the things that he used to obtain that, and nothing is left out whatsoever. And if you don't think your child is destined for the Ivy League, don't worry. I've since discovered that these little hacks, they work on non-Ivy League schools too. Any school, really. It's insane how powerful these websites are and how much money is out there that I don't know why it's not more public, probably because they want to keep it a secret for only the people who can really search and find this stuff. But it should be more public, but luckily for you, it's not public, so you can take advantage of this once you're inside. Now, you'll immediately get this report, the Ivy League report, when you invest the $497 in the Full Ride Finder package today. And I also want to give you another free bonus that you're going to find insanely invaluable, which is my secret showcase strategy guide. As I've been telling you, you don't have to go to showcases or combines, but if you want to, it's a helpful tool. It's helpful to know which ones to go to and know how your kid can stand out from the crowd once they're there. That's exactly what you'll discover in the secret showcase strategy guide. I share which events are worth your time, which ones to stay away from, like the plague. There are so many scam showcases and combines out there that I've just heard horror stories about and I've experienced myself. So I'm gonna teach you how to stay away from those, and I'm also gonna show you the exact ones to go to that are 1/10 the price, but they give you 10x the result and 10x the reach. So it's pretty valuable to know that as well. I'm also gonna share with you real world strategies to get noticed in the sea of athletes that always attend these camps, these showcases, these combines. These strategies aren't theory. They're exactly what helped CJ earn 21 Full Ride offers. These are the exact things that we did. We thought outside the box, we thought laterally, and we made it happen. So you get this free guide too, simply for investing in my Full Ride Finder package today. If you want to secure your free spot in the Twice Speed Academy and get all the bonuses, head over to fullridefinder.com right now and place your order. But there's one last bonus I want to give you, and in a real way, this could be the most valuable bonus of them all, honestly. I'm going to give you free access to my Twice the Speed Facebook group for parents. Right now, we have almost 1,000 members inside the group. It's a great place to ask questions and get answers. You'll not only get the answers from me, but you'll get answers from other parents who have already done what you're trying to do. It's exactly what you need to help get unstuck along the way. Being in a group with like-minded people, just like yourself, like-minded parents, helps you kind of get over a lot of the humps that you would face if you didn't have that support group. So there you have it. The way I see it right now, you have two choices. You can fight upstream and do this all on your own, or pay for an expensive recruiting service that's $5,000 plus. But there's no need for either of those. When you try my Full Ride Finder package today, you'll get everything you need to place your child with a scholarship to the school of their dreams. Plus, if you're one of the first 100, you'll get 6 months free access to my Twice the Speed Academy, a bonus gift worth $354. And I'll even throw in a second account in case you have 2 children, which is $708. And I mean, if you're on the hook for 3 or 4 children or 5 children, and I understand how expensive it is to raise kids, so I'll even throw in, extra. If you just tell me, hey, I need 3 or 4 accounts for my 3 children, I'm going to take care of you. I want to make sure that they have the best chance, that they're not left out from their brothers and sisters. So just personally hit me up and we can take care of that. But you'll also get my Ivy League report and my showcase strategy guide. All in all, this package is easily worth tens of thousands of dollars, if not hundreds of thousands, if you land a $250,000 off your college tuition. That's absolutely insane. And we show you exactly what Adam did. And when you think of it, this way, the life that this can help your child have, it's priceless. It could change it could change their path. It can completely change them for the better, making them more confident, making them a better athlete. It'll change a lot for them. So it's honestly priceless. It's really hard to put a number on it. But you'll get access to all of this instantly for a single investment of $497 for my full ride finder package today. It's everything included. As you can see, everything is there for you to help your child be the best they can possibly be. I packaged it all together, all in one spot. All you have to do is take action. Go to fullridefinder.com right now and please take action. Be one of those first 100. I cannot wait until you're in that parents VIP group. I'm going to intro you. I'm going to hit you up when you're in that group, and I'm going to take care of these parents. I'm going to take care of these kids. My goal is to help 1 billion athletes. I want to help 1 billion kids around the world become the best that they can be and have the best chance to succeeding and getting to college and earning that money. That's my biggest regret. I wish that was me. I wish I had a mentor or someone to, show me the ropes and get me to that next level. And that's what gives me this passion to do this. So once again, guys, thank you so much for watching this live presentation. I really do. I trust that you found it helpful. And if you don't join the community, it's cool. Just be sure to help your kid and implement these 3 secrets. Talk soon, guys.